What is up, WinJet community? What? As you can tell, I have two of my friends online right now talking about the official launch of WinJet.com. New website, new life is what we do. We're going to change lives. That's right, guys? So
that's the mission.
Right. Yeah, I'm excited to have you here to discuss the partnership with you guys, Market House, and you guys are the founding partners of that phenomenal company of building websites and making everybody look beautiful. Okay, so, and that's we were just having a brief conversation before Zach and I looked at all these cameras he had on top of here. Yeah. I was like, what, are we separated at birth? I was telling him my yard sale story of me being able to hustle an old granny out of for $1.
That's just not it. Like, we're Braves fans, you know.
Oh yeah, I was going to get to that. Don't worry, I'm going to talk about my bobblehead here in a second. But guys, I appreciate everyone being here. Happy Money Wednesday, any day to NZNY. There's so much to unpack and to, I guess, kind of share with you guys. And I appreciate every single live. Before we kind of go into this, before, we launched this and we have the website and it's kind of a really shiny object and it's custom made. It's beautiful. But I want to say thank you to all the podcasters that we've had come on board to do the beta phase and beta test. I know it can, when you're doing those type of tests, and you need to make the proper adjustments. For me being, obviously who I am, I need more data and I need to know what adjustments I need to make to put you in a position to win. So I do appreciate every single last one of you, I guess, being patient on some of the changes in the infrastructure, but you're about to see why we're taking a little longer to make sure that when we hit go, there's only one gear. That means haul ass. Okay, and that's what we're going to do. But first and foremost, I got Jason and Zach, the founding partners of Market House. They're based in Atlanta, one of my favorite places in the world. They were so nice to send me a bobblehead of my favorite baseball player right there. I can't really see it that well, but that's Dale Murphy. If anybody doesn't know who the number 3 is, you've lost your mind. That's the man right there. So I was like, you hit my inner kid world today when I picked up that package. I was like, oh my God, if you would have caught that on camera, the way that I literally screamed like a little girl. Anyways, but I appreciate it. Thank you guys for being here.
Yeah, absolutely. We're blessed to be here, man. It's awesome. We're excited.
Yeah, man.
So the main thing, I guess we can kind of cover, can you talk a little bit more in depth about the company that you founded, obviously with Jason, and what you guys are doing, obviously with some of the marketplace? And it's so funny that we're connected in so many different angles by people.
Yeah, I know, right?
we're like, how do we not know each other yet? So, and I'm really blessed. And there's a little shout out to Nate May, a good friend of ours, the one that set this up, and obviously connected us, and we just had a phenomenal time of building out what we've done so far, and I look forward to the future. But can you give a little bit of backstory of how you why you founded, Market House and all the things that you do today?
So me and Jason were college friends. So we lived in the same dorm, and we have a lot of funny stories there. We'll spare those for another time.
That's for after the show.
Yeah, that's an after show. But anyway, so when we graduated college, we went our separate ways. What's funny is we ended up living, Jason, 20 minutes apart, and didn't really realize that we were that close. I was freelancing. He was freelancing. I made a joke one day and just said, you know what? You're freelancing. Let's just join forces and let's do this together. And he said, sure. And I was like, I was kidding, but well, let's do it. And so the rest is history. So 8 years ago,
our whole partnership is based on a joke.
Exactly.
So that's what he's trying to say.
It was like, do we just become best friends? There's so many room for activities.
Yep.
Oh, shit, that's great.
But yeah, so we did that. It was 8 years ago. It was just a side hustle. It took us a long time to kind of hone in exactly what we wanted to offer, because when we started this thing, we wanted to offer everything, anything and everything. We said yes to everything. It took us a while to lock in on marketing and lock in on websites. And that's one of the things that websites and marketing is what we've been doing for years and years and years. But we found that was where our niche was, what we honed in on our craft, and the rest has been history. We've been doing this for 8 years together, and having a blast. It's been a fun ride, and we can't wait to see what we have more coming. Even working with you guys at WinJet.
I mean, we just to kind of just to rebuttal on some of the things you just mentioned. It does take a little time to kind of get really zoned in on what you need to do. And I mean, there's so much, I guess you would say competition out there, but there's not, to me, there's no competition. You're only in competition with yourself, but you do need to gauge the market and what is actually offered for you to actually zone in on your zone of genius and dial in. And that's what I think you guys done a phenomenal job at that, just by the visual test, by looking at what you were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it took, like I said before, it really did take us, gosh, I would say the last 3 or 4 years is where we've kind of hit our stride, and we landed exactly where we wanted to land. But yeah, before it was, we literally did offer anything and everything. We were saying yes to everything. And if we couldn't do it, we figured it out and we did it anyway. And, but
that's a true story of a lot of hustlers early on. Not like hustlers, but like, when you're just trying to get everything, right? You don't say no to any opportunity. You constantly say yes. And then we learned, and Zach and I talk about this a lot, is the power of the pivot. It's important to understand what you do well and then where you want to be, and then pivoting into that and then leaning really hard into that. And that's what Zach was saying. That's when we started to really see success, was in these last few years, when we knuckled down and said, you know what, we're going to cut that. We're going to cut that. We're going to cut that. What do we do well? We build brands and we build websites, and that's it. Right. And so that's when we started to focus on that really hard and heavy. And that's when we started to see success. And I feel like that's true for a lot of entrepreneurs.
100%. Anybody's going to, I don't care what kind of entrepreneur you are in whatever industry, you're going to say yes to everything starting off because you're trying to earn. If you're, and that's why I always say it's happy money, whatever, in data ends in Y. If you don't, or you're not producing revenue every single day, you have a hobby. You're going to put yourself in a really tough situation. But taking on a bunch of clients, but it sounds like to me that you filter down to, exactly who you're trying to serve. And what the criteria is. I turn away more business now than, obviously 10 years before, 7, 8 years before, because I was taking on everybody. Well, you can't serve everyone. Serving to the masses. You need to speak to the masses, but dial in and filter all the way down to the ones you need to help and want your help. That's the key, right? So, and then what was some pivotal, what kind of led you in those pivotal moments that Jason just mentioned, those pivotal points that you needed to make those shifts? What were some big things that jumped out to you that make those types of shifts?
Well, it was one of the things, like we said at the beginning, we were offering anything and everything,
right?
But having all of that on the website, people didn't care.
Okay.
We found what people wanted and what they needed, and we said, let's trim the fat. Let's get rid of all this other stuff. It's distractions, noise that's not producing any sort of income for us. So it's like there's 0 point for us to continue to offer something if nobody wants it. So the pivotal moment, I guess, for us was just seeing and taking a step back at the end of, I forget what year it is, but at the end of the year, we took a step back and looked at what it was we were offering and saying, we didn't sell it. Nobody wanted this. So why do we keep hitting this, and why do we keep pushing this? It doesn't make sense. We don't need it. Let's get rid of it. And when we did that, we felt like the attention that we got from our clients when we were talking to them, we landed exactly where they wanted and what they wanted from us. And I think that was kind of the pivotal moment for us, is just saying, all right, let's trim the fat. Let's get rid of all this extra crap that we don't need. And give them the best products that we offer, the best services that we offer. And once we did that, it was a game changer. It opened the door for a lot more opportunities, and actually the bigger opportunities we really wanted to go after, but we felt like we just kept hitting a wall.
Right. But you make that shift and you become not just good at what you do, become great at what you do. People seek after you. Some of my best clients, and obviously the business deals that obviously I broker, it comes by referrals. I don't need to outreach to get to the type of clientele that I'm trying to reach. And that's one of the ideas of when I was thinking of this idea and coming to, I guess, the pivotal moments for me to make those shifts and put the infrastructure there in place. And a lot of people within the community right now are probably not even knowing what I'm actually trying to build. I'm going to take everybody in the industry. When I reached out to a couple of podcasting networks and doing that market validation and figuring out what's out there, what are they offering, I realized there's a big thing that jumped out to me, that podcasting networks are set up just like a music industry, and they're there to rape the podcaster of their royalties and creativity and controlling them. So, and that's what I thought, that's okay. that's, I guess, my mission in life is to be able to apply the methodology of the win-win effect, and everyone's going to win, everyone's going to eat. Take less up front because we're not going to charge podcasters other than just like a 90 something bucks a month or whatever. That's just to keep all the websites and keeping the business active. That's nothing. But our job is to put the right people in place and vet out the partnerships. And like, when you grow through life, and I'm sure that you guys have, contested this, when you grow through your journey in business, when you start getting to that top 1%, those type of movers and shakers, they are not going to really wait on a decision. They're going to move, and we move quick. And that's one of the things that I've loved about our experience of working together in just brief amount of time. I feel like I've known you guys forever. Like, right. Seriously, because sometimes it's different because I have to dial it down a little bit with some people because they're not going to grasp it or what I'm trying to talk about. And you guys caught on pretty quickly exactly what I'm intending to do with this. So I appreciate that. This has been a phenomenal experience for me. And that's why talking about the partnership and you being the only company that will provide services for every single one of our podcast hosts that they need those type of services. I guess we can would you like to share what the website is going to look like now first, and then talk about some of the things that you're going to do for all of our great hosts?
Yeah,
go from there. Okay. Okay, cool. All right, guys, I'm going to show you and reveal what we've been working on. It's like the mass. What is it? What does Adam call me? The mad scientist. Anyway. All right, guys. So go ahead and hit the button, Carolyn, of and showing that little screen. Okay. So, all right. So what this website is going to do, obviously, right from the beginning, and I love the fact that you guys have a clear message on what you need to do, right? And what we empower purpose-driven podcasters and learn from our experts with coaching to build. I didn't miss the part, but building out what they need to do as in their show, and then being able for them to deliver the message to the right people. That's what this is all about. But the flow of this website is phenomenal. I guess I'll let Jason or Zach kind of like walk us through exactly what we did here.
Go for it, Jason.
Yeah, I'll take it. So I love this website. So first of all, the color scheme, we don't get to use orange a lot, and orange is just a killer attention getter, and we loved using that on this site, just digging into colors. But one of the cool things that we do on this site is we use sticky video, and so sometimes people pass over the videos and they don't really get the value of what we put in there. And we have this, it kind of sticks with you as you go through, and it's hanging out there. We have direct ability to pull up community interaction on your phone. And so if you are interested in getting started, you can click that button. It'll automatically open up your texting app on your phone, and you can join the community right then. It gives you a direct connection to all the Winject shows on the community, right? Yep. And so like you can look at any of the featured shows. There's the small pack right there, and then we also have all the ones at the bottom. And then of course, any of those calls to action are going to take you directly over there to become a partner, right? And so it's a very driven site. Right now, it's it's very streamlined, and we're just super excited to grow this thing with you guys, right?
I'm thoroughly excited because it's very clear. I mean, sometimes I was actually made a joke in corporate, and this when I go and speak at corporate places and in trade schools. I'm like, I'm really difficult to work for, but I'm even harder to work. But you obviously need to work with me. You know what I mean? So if I look at every single person that I've ever been attached to within my companies, that they work with me. I don't work for me. They work with me. And that's what this site in this onboarding process and what we've done, we've thrown out ideas. We're open to any kind of changes, but you guys made this really pop.
Yeah.
And it's very simple. There's only a couple call to actions. There's one call to action for open up, streamline for our community. And this goes to every single one of when you're a podcaster, a podcast partner with us, you are just be like, hey guys, you say it in your audio and say it in your recordings. Text us at 843-396-2104. Say my name, and then they're gonna put that inside of the folder, and that way you're gonna get automatic updates. I think I was on a call with Jason and Zach earlier today, and I was talking about, okay, we're going live about an hour, and next thing you know, Jason got a text message.
Yeah, it was like within like 3 seconds. I was like, how did you do that.
I didn't do it. So that's the whole point. You're reading people's mind. Telepathic.
No, you're the mad scientist.
Right.
So.
And like, who knew? So, but that's kind of like the flow of what you see here. Just for the Winject shows that you see, what we've done is those are actually a hyperlink. So when someone does click on that website for you, it goes to your website. We're there. We are here to put you in a position to win. And that's the whole name about the company is Winject. We're injecting you with a winning mentality, and you're going to win and plug you into the right resources. The right resources are people like Jason and Zach and all the other partners that we're going to be announcing every single Wednesday. There's a couple different things that I want to put. So the website right here, and I let Zach kind of talk about this because he loved the watch button and the join button. Very simple, right? And making it pop. And you mentioned the orange. That's just everyone to know that's the Clemson orange. Me going for Clemson. That's like, oh well, let's get it. They were talking about green or yellow. I was like, no, let's go orange. So that's the hidden behind the orange. I love orange. But can you walk in anything you want to add to the watch buttons and why not that many call to actions, just only a couple to drive people to the right funnel?
Well, we found in our research and doing this for over the years is we've noticed that most people, for some reason, when you go to a website and you land on that page, for some reason our eye drives to the right corner of the website. So having a call to action right there at the top, it's easy to find, it's easy to navigate to. We didn't want people to be confused when they land on the page. We want them to be able to go exactly to where we want them to go. And there's no distraction up there at the top where there's like 15 different tabs. I think that's what we talked about, Chris. That you were talking about how you did not want it to be confusing at all. You want it to be very clear when they land on the site what they're supposed to do. And I feel like we've achieved that exactly what you were looking for is we want them to go, we want them to join, we want them to watch. Those are the two things that are the biggest things we want them to do. And so having simple call to actions, that, and then join the community, keeping it simple, I feel like it will make a difference on the user experience overall.
I can't tell you, and I'm not a marketing guy, but I know how to align sales and marketing and being able to speak one language, right? So they communicate properly. But when I look at websites, and it's hard for me sometimes when the people ask me to invest in companies or whatever I'm doing or whatever the capacity, right? And obviously getting involved, I look at a website and if I can't right off the jump street identify what you do for a living and who you're trying to serve, I move on. The message needs to be 100% clear. Yeah. And I love that you guys had so much input. Like I literally went over briefly what I was looking for, and then next update, I think it was the next day or 2 days, boop. I was like, what did you pull it out of my head? Like, how did you do that? That was great.
Have the red eye to London, did mad scientist on your head while you slept, flew back, made the website.
No, it's because we're long lost brothers.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I got to talk to my mom. It's like, I don't know what happened because I know that you're in Atlanta and I'm in Charleston. So I'm from Charleston, and us being huge, maybe it's just a Braves connection. That could be it.
I was about to say it's not because of the Clemson connection, because I'm a Georgia fan. So
yeah, I know. We got you first week, I think, this year or the next year.
It's this year.
No. We got you.
No. I'll apologize now. That's 1 week we will not speak or communicate.
Right? That's okay.
I do pull for the Bulldogs. I cannot stand South Carolina Gamecocks. So the Lamecocks. So
there you go.
Anyways, but they're okay. So I guess we can kind of discuss now. Obviously, in just a couple questions, I just want to touch base on. I think Nina Perez. She's a phenomenal individual, human, and a great host and great show. I love her show. It's just straight talk with no sugar added. You guys will like that. So she's interviewed some phenomenal people. She's obviously part of the community and part of obviously the beta test. And just in case you missed it, Nina, I was just basically saying it briefly before we kind of dove into this. I appreciate your patience. I appreciate everyone's patience of obviously believing in us and understanding like this is just a beta phase. There's going to be a lot of changes. And now we've gotten to the point where we know exactly, we're dialed into the true essence of what Winject is all about. And we're going to blow it up. I cannot wait. But there's a lot of exciting stuff. This will be live by the end of the week, right, Jason?
Yep.
By the end of the week, winjet.com, it'll be everything switched over. He's in a process right now, making sure all the stuff is backed up. It's just beautiful. But the link I will share, Nina, I guess, Carolyn, you can actually share that link to sign up. You can go ahead and sign up with a 10-day trial. So that, because the inside of our structure, inside of our system, that beta test and other stuff that you've already enrolled into, that beta test is going to go away. So we don't want you to lose access to the internal site and system with all the training videos and all the stuff that we have going on. So you're going to have to sign up with a new link, Lena. We'll get it over to you today. Okay. So, any other questions you would like to kind of like go over? And I guess we need to talk about obviously the packages and some of the things that you're going to obviously help our beautiful guests and hosts and all the people in the community with.
Okay. Yeah, so the package that we want to kind of offer for anybody that's joining the community for your podcast, getting it up and running. One of the biggest things is your branding. Show branding is important, right? We want to make sure that it looks beautiful and just as crisp and clear as all the other shows that are on Winjack Studios now. So what we want to offer is having to put together your show branding, put together your website for you, do all the hosting. Jason can talk to that more here in just a minute. But then also we want to offer a sort of like a starter pack for your social media to kind of get you kick-started and get you off the ground, get you some pieces that you can start sharing and get the word out about and it look good and consistent with your branding. Yeah. So there's a connection there. And then you have like a nice package that you can run with for the future, create more pieces with us, hopefully. But if not, you have a firm base to launch from. So Jason, talk to them about a little bit about the website, how that would work.
Yeah, so let's dig into that. So we have lots of different solutions that we offer, but for the podcast community, we're honing it down into a couple different areas, and it's really offering a home for everything to live that's outside of your actual podcast. So what a lot of people don't focus on, they're like, okay, I've got my podcast, I've got my album cover for the show, I've got this, that, and the other thing, and then they launch it, but they're not nurturing that community that they're growing, right? And so the website needs to be that home for all the other pieces of content, for your show notes. That's huge, right? So people don't nurture that piece enough. So you need to have your show notes, you need to have your links in there. You need to have any kind of partners you have on your show. You need to give them shout outs there on that website. Any kind of premium content that you want to either just have on the site, or you want to set up a paywall and you want to charge for that, extra content. Any of that stuff outside of the actual show, it needs to go somewhere, and it needs to live on that site. And so that's one thing that we are committed to help the Winjet community with. And one of the areas that we really succeed with that is it's kind of a buzzword, and people kind of understand that it's a thing, is SEO, right? Search engine optimization. And that's one thing that our websites do well with. We take your show and all the content that you're talking about, and we put the structure into the website to make sure that when people are looking for content that's similar to what you're producing, that they find you, right? So people aren't just looking on, Apple Podcasts. They're not just looking there for content to consume. They're on Google. Like, Google is your brain. And so it's really important that you treat your podcast like a business, whether or not you are, you're optimizing it for, to get paid. You need to treat it like a business, and that business needs to have a home online, needs to have a website, and you need to really nurture the crap out of it, right? And so that's one of the things that we offer, is that really great SEO optimized website, complete with landing pages. We can paywall content. You can set up a sync to your calendar so people can book your show on there. Right. All kinds of these little tools that are kind of specific to podcasters. You'll have that. And then, Zach also talked about our social media Kickstarter. This is something that we started offering, kind of out of that pivot that we talked about earlier. We tried to do everything from everybody. My big background is in website development and social media. So when I was doing some work for a resort, I built their social media presence from like 7,000 fans on Facebook to 120,000 fans. So my background, I have this really big background in like social media growth. And early on, we tried to do that for like all these customers. And we're like, that's not going to work. So what we really tried to do is educate. We try to educate and give you the skills to be able to do that piece on your own, because nobody knows your community better than you, right? You're building this community around your podcast, around your brand. And so what we do is we build this social media Kickstarter. We educate you on best practices on like how to post, when to post, where to post. And then we also build these assets for you. And, you know, a lot of people will take these as templates in like Canva, free or low cost, or, you know, Photoshop or whatever. And then you can build it your own. You drop in your own images, drop in your own artwork. You just change the text and boom, you got it. And so your own, you know, little production thing. So we find that people are really responsive to that, because one, they want to learn, and two, they kind of want to do some things themselves. And as long as you have really slick branding and it is on point, you can do it yourself. You do have skill set to do that.
100%.
And that's one of the big things that we offer. So it's really developing that brand and website, and then that social media Kickstarters. Those are the two big things that we're trying to bring to the WinJet community.
Yep.
One of the biggest misconceptions I see with podcasters, that they think that just because they have a microphone or a face, or they have their show, that people are going to show up and listen and tune in. And obviously, are people finding that a little bit more difficult? And that's one of the things that are driving me to be able to serve them and help them and change their perspective just a little bit, change to frame it a little bit, for them to understand your show is an entity of you. That's another entity. If you treat it like a business, it'll be profitable. If you treat it like a hobby, you're not going to, it's just your approach. So we want to challenge the purpose-driven influencers that we have coming on board. And this even goes to people that don't even have a show yet, and they're a seven-figure earner, and they want to leverage podcasting to be able to bring them more business and to leverage the different opportunities. Yes, we do have that in store. We have that inside of our community already, and we will be talking about it, of podcast launches. And these guys had a podcast at one point, took off in business, and now they're going to obviously look at starting another podcast. And I would love to obviously them going to be a part of the community, and just we have to eat our own dog food. Like we can't just be screaming on top of the mountain, you need to do this. No, we're going to work together. That's the collaboration after the community. We all have to work together and collaborate and get to the right message, of dial all the way into your zone of genius and deliver that message to the marketplace. And it's going to be easy to do, but together we can make it happen. And that's where collective impact takes place.
Yeah, so, I think what you just mentioned is what we like to call the field of dreams. Like hope is, if you build it, they will come. But with websites and with podcasts, there's got to be some effort that you have to put out there to get eyes on your website, ears on your podcast, or eyes on your podcast if you're streaming it. So it's one of those things where, yes, build it and make it look great, but there's another step that I think a lot of people end up missing with the website world, but also with what you're saying with podcasts is the same thing.
Right. And just to let everyone know, phase 2, I mean, already started to get the ideas for phase 2 of this website. So everything's going to be done on winjet.com and internally for us to be able to do it. That's the whole thing. I love what Jason said. You want people to go to your website and feel like they're at home and spend hours on that website. That's what we're going to do. We're going to put that's why every single one of our hosts and podcasts within our community is going to have an opportunity to go live on this channel. When they go live on this channel, it pops up. Carolyn, can you share that screen again, if you can? So when you go live on this channel, it's going to pop up on our stream. So you're not just going. We're showcasing you. That's my position, is to put you in a spot to win, and for your face and your show, and you talking about your community, opening up streamlined communication. That's going to be polarizing on our website. So the more times you go live, guess what? You get access. This is going to be thousands of daily viewers. I haven't even talked about all the other partnerships that we're about to open up the floodgates with, like the people that we obviously have going on and the people that we're serving. I want the first 50 shows just to reward them on them trusting in our ability on building something massive. Give them a shot. Listen, sign up on this link, the 10-day trial. So that way, when we get up to 50 and get up to 100, we move on to phase 2. You're going to be the first ones that we're going to be showcasing on this website. So I want everyone to understand that. It's not just about you being a part of community and you kind of following suit. I don't want to do this. It's not a one-size-fit-all solution to everybody's show. Like, so the show that you guys are going to launch, obviously, I mean, as in when we were having conversations through the experience of building this website together and kind of coming up with the right idea, and it looks beautiful. But when you're doing it, that like you obviously see the power of what we're building here.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You know, it's funny as Zach and I, we had our podcast. I think we lasted like a year and a half or so. Then we had kids. We started building the business more. We were like, we got to cut something. And it was a really fun project. And for the last couple of years, we've always like, man, we need to get back to it. And a couple months ago, we'd started planning it out. And then we put it on the back burner because we're like, we really got to work on this again. And then talking to Chris over the last, I guess month or so, Zach and I are like, when are we going to start it again? Like, we need to get fired up. Are we gonna? When are we getting our swag for the show? Like, we don't have the show yet, but we're trying to go ahead and get ready for it. But we're hyped. We're ready to do it, and we're excited because we see the value that Winject and the community around it has. Like, we see the potential. It's there. Like, we wouldn't be on this if we didn't believe in the project. You know what I mean?
Right. 100%. I appreciate that, and it does mean a lot because when you're, how it is. I mean, when you guys are dreamers as well. This is why you built what you built, right? So when I woke up one morning and my feet hit the ground. I do the same thing every day. My feet hit the ground. 10 to 15 minutes, I work on meat only and clearing out the mechanism and dumping everything out and rechanneling, right? I started visualizing what this potentially could be. And when I was obviously working with these networks, I was like, I'm okay, listen, guys, here's what I'm going to do. And I don't want to be involved in this, but here's what I'm going to go do. And I'm going to apply the educational approach to what we're doing and serving we're podcaster and influencer centric. Yeah. First, there's not a lot. I'm telling you, there's no companies out there that are doing that. We're podcaster and influencer centric first. And that's where all the resources that we're going to have internally, that they're companies that we trust as a community to, and that's instant gratification. And that's obviously the fulfillment phase of it. Everyone's going to win. Everyone's going to eat. Everyone's going to really take action on the proper opportunities and for you to start monetizing. Guys, day one, you can start monetizing. So there's the link is already available. Carolyn, you can post it inside the chat. That link is already available. Go. I know that you're involved in the beta test, but if you're a new podcaster, if you want to launch a show, we have that too. We have everything. I have thought of every angle when it comes to this, and I have some special announcements talking about branching over to the music and branching over to the TV side. This is going to get fun, and I just when I was going through this and visualizing, now it's getting really clear. Yeah, like really clear. There's some deals that we're obviously brokering on the back end of this, and these names I can't talk about yet. You're going to be blown away. People are, and that's another thing. Do you guys go on Clubhouse?
Oh yeah.
So I was on Lauren. Obviously, Lauren. I could talk about that, but she's huge on Clubhouse. She loves it. But Clubhouse, she was dying laughing. She sent me a message, an audio note. We speak through audio notes. She was like, what's so funny is that I'm on all these like rooms and stuff. They're all talking about podcasting and no one knows what they're doing. They have no idea what we're about to do. They have no idea. Like it's just going to be amazing. They're like, no one knows what they're talking about. So it just gives me a lot of joy when I hear bigger names like that in the industry, them that have no clue what they're doing. No clue. Oh
yeah. It's going to blow up as soon as you start talking about it. And not only in just the general world, but that Clubhouse is insane. That is it's growing by leaps and bounds, but it's still so hugely untapped for growth.
Right. I even seen that they're doing some streamlined stuff, not streamlined, but they're recording in different types of rooms and resharing the content somehow. And obviously I've been building Winject, so I recorded tons of episodes, and I've actually had some of the guests that I've had on the Win-Win Effect send me a message. Why is it taking so long for the episode to come out? Well, I kind of knew what I was going to do for the first quarter of the year was getting this ready. So I recorded so many episodes, but there's so much. It's going to be really impactful, and it's going to bring me so much joy and fulfillment of watching people go, oh my gosh, this is going to change everything. Mm-hmm. Because now they don't have to really outreach. I want to put a microphone in people's face, and I want them to feel like they don't need to do anything else other than being the talent.
Yeah.
That's what we're providing here. So it's an all-in-one educational hub. It's just, this is called We Win. This is the game we called We Win. So I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited. Any last words? I guess we're going to take this video and obviously chop it. We'll put it inside our system. And that way, with if anybody wants to request a consultation or a quote from Jason and Zach, and they'll obviously sit down with you. And, that's one thing when you're brokering deals, they're going to do it for the smallest amount, whatever that is, or the highest amount, or whatever you're looking for. They can custom make it. That is a proved example.
Mm-hmm. Bobbleheads not included.
Yeah.
You got to make that disclaimer.
I'm telling you, man, that was like the most. I'm not going to receive gifts, right? But I haven't been so excited about a gift. I literally, my inner child jumped out. I was like, oh my God, or is this real life? I was like, oh my gosh, I wish that was the recording that I did for you guys, the shout out. But
yeah,
if you'd have caught it before I hit record, I was like literally shitting bricks. I was so excited.
I really would have loved to have seen that, actually.
I literally jumped out. I was like, what is this? I couldn't believe it. I was like, I don't know. I haven't been to a Braves game since a new stadium.
Yeah.
And obviously, I'm a huge Dale Murphy fan. I have another story about Dale Murphy, but I'm not going to obviously share it right now. Everyone's like, I don't care. I don't care. Get to the website. Anyways, but guys, I appreciate you coming on. Appreciate our friendship. I appreciate the bobblehead. And I cannot wait to see the progress and obviously what we're going to do with this opportunity with you guys on board. I'm just really thrilled and I'm blessed. Thank you.
We're excited to be a part of it and be a part of the journey with you and the rest of the community. So thank you for the opportunity.
Always. Yeah. Always. Yeah. I appreciate it, guys. Carolyn, hit the music. I appreciate. Go check it out. And Carolyn will put all the things in the show notes and we'll put the links where you can go ahead and join. So if you're in the beta test right now, that is going away by Friday. So you need to click on this link that we'll share with you guys. And we'll also just send it. Actually, it might be easier to do it this way. Text us at 843-396-2104 and say, I need the new link. And then Adam and everybody on the community app will get it to you today. Okay? All right, guys. Y'all be well. Be great. Be you. Peace out. Kill hit the music.
This podcast is part of the WinChecked Studios network, where podcasters come together to focus on community, collaboration, and collective impact. For more information on how to apply to join the network, go to www.winject.com. That's WINJECT.com. If you're ready to make a difference through podcasting, then we're ready to see you there.